Hi, everyone. Danielle Fitzpatrick Clark here, and welcome to another episode of Light at the End of the Funnel. And we are on the light side today for Light at the End of the Funnel. So we have our strategy and then we have our transformation. So, transformation to me just means we are transforming as a human being in some way in this process of entrepreneurship. So, um, I have not found anyone, no one that I know that doesn't transform during this journey of entrepreneurship and business ownership. So, you'll hear me use a lot of those words, and there's reasons why I use those words. Um, and there's reasons why I look at things the way that I do. And I tell you what, when I have really stepped into the transformation part, I have become a much more grounded leader. Not just in the industry that I'm in, not just for my clients, for my family, for myself. So for my colleagues, for my friends, um, there is just such a wealth of knowledge and um, heart that goes into being open to transformation. So that's why I like to talk about it a lot, and that's why I bring it into this podcast. So today it's a little bit of a broad one, but I'm just going to go with it. It's about how to be a human in a digital world. So last couple of years we have been in the house on the computer. It's been very much digital, right? Not just us. The other thing that was kind of funny, my husband and I were laughing, like, I don't know about these kids these days. I'm like, oh my gosh, we sound like our parents. Did you know that we just sounded like our parents? And it was funny because we were saying, like, the girls they like their digital stuff. They're gamers, and like we my husband and I, we like outside. We were just going for it was nice out. It was sunny. It was warm, so we got to put the windows down, the breeze through my hair. I have much more hair than he does, although he's doing pretty good for 42. But that's what we did, and it just felt so good. And we were on a back road, and we had country music on, so we were back in our roots of Northern Maine, farm girl here. He wasn't a farm boy, but man, he was a country bumpkin for sure. And it just felt good. It just felt good. And we just couldn't understand wanting to be inside or on the computer as much as we have been the last couple of years. So, and that's the piece that I think a lot of people are feeling. And they're really wanting to step outside more. And everyone's starting to feel a little bit better. I mean, for now, hopefully that'll stay, but there's still some that are afraid, and I get it. Um, but that's what it is. We're feeling human again, even though everything has very much escalated and accelerated in the digital world. So that's where there is so much growth to come when it comes to being a human in the online space. So how do you start? How do you really start to, feel human again, even in the online space? And there's a lot of different ways to do it. And what I have found with the online space specifically is that it's really smart to take a moment before you answer anyone online. So I will just use a very general one. It's like take moments. Take moments to respond. And nothing needs to be done immediately when it comes to conversations online. Nothing needs to be said, nothing needs to be pushed. What really is important is just taking a moment, taking a pause, and thinking about what what is my response here that feels like me, that feels like the human parts of me. So, what's a really good example? And I can't remember exactly which summit it was on, but I had a summit and I had someone on there who was talking about authenticity. And she made a really good example about how people think that they're being authentic when they just email back and say exactly what they want to say. And like, oh, I finally said what I wanted to say, so that's authentic. And she had a really good point, and she had a really good example. So I'm gonna use that one. And the example was somebody sends you an email that where it's just a mean email, right? It's just a mean email. It's putting you down. Um, Nothing nice is being said about you. And for you to respond and let them have it immediately, even though you feel like you're being really honest and authentic, it's actually not authentic. And I was like, that is so interesting. What do you mean by that? And she's like, well, it's not authentic to lead by your emotions if that's not really who you are underneath it all. If you're not really, a person who likes to let people have it or likes to just like have no barriers and just, tell them exactly what you think back and respond, it's actually not responding, it's reacting. So reactivity doesn't mean authenticity. So her advice was put the mouse away, the computer mouse, and take a walk or go get grounded. And what does grounded mean? I mean, for me, getting grounded means putting in my ear pods. I actually call them ear cuddles. They're my ear cuddles. I put in my ear cuddles and I listen to my music. It's actually entrepreneurial motivation music. It's very much classical music, but with the twist of current um current songs. So I do that and I flip immediately back into me. So music is my way. Sometimes I have to sing. I am not dancing for anybody. I don't dance on TikTok either. Not unless you guys are gonna pay me a lot. I will dance if somebody's gonna pay me a lot, but no, that's not for anyone but my kids and my husband. Um, so sometimes I usually will listen, sometimes I will sing, and that will get me to back to me. So grounding is about getting back to you, getting back to who you are. Some people like to go for walks. I know that some people just need to open a window. Some people just need to shut everything off and just sit and meditate. Whatever works for you. But it's really important for you to come back into who you really are and come from a place of response. And the other thing that I want to add to that, because the other thing I don't think that we have a lot of now is empathy, right? So knowing when someone is reactive towards you, and you can either take that on or you can sit with who you are and your intentions behind the interactions, however those were, and sit with that and then come from a place of empathy and just like this is something really is going on with them. Something's happening for them. For them. I usually say for them. And I'm going to hold a place of not reacting and responding in a way that under normal circumstances, if, and we're just going to, even if we're not there, we're going to assume that we're going to get there. Normal circumstances, this is how I would respond when I've really seen them. So it's kind of about seeing the other person, not how they reacted, but where they are and how they're feeling. And it's always about them. It's never about you or what you did, unless it really is. But I mean, more often than not, it's not that. So I think that piece of being a human, which means coming back into yourself and also coming from a place of empathy for what the other person may be going through because we don't know, and responding in a way of um, that place of empathy, how you would respond to somebody who's having a really hard time if they were face to face. That's how you can start bringing the human back into the digital. And so when you get in the habit of doing that, then you can do it for all other areas of digital. So like I kind of laugh and I get it. I understand. But a lot of people complain about, oh my gosh, everybody's hitting me up in the DMs. Like, everybody's selling. Who's teaching them this? And I think that myself too sometimes. I'm not perfect. No, I'm not. I'm perfectly imperfect, if anything. Um, but I like to think of, wow, I wonder why they're asking me this. And instead of taking offense of, well, they obviously didn't look at my profile. They don't know who I am and blah, 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 because I can go into that ego space. I mean, we all can. I instead just like, I wonder if I ask some more questions, I can find out why they thought I would be a good fit. And while doing that, I'm also going to find out who they think or who they want to actually attract in. It's usually not me. It could be somebody I know, or it could be someone where I know they are. So one of the gifts that I have is I'm really good at knowing where ideal clients are, which is what makes me a really good digital marketer. So if I ask those questions like, and I can say it just like, I don't know if this is for me, but why don't you tell me more about who you're looking for and what your intention is with supporting this person? And so I'll get that information. I'm like, have you thought about going over to this group? And I know that this group will allow you to promo, and I would just make sure that you say, this is who I'm looking for. And so I will, if I can't, if I'm not the person, which I'm usually not, then I will at least give them something where they can go and they can go in a direction that may make sense for them getting the results that they want to get. And it's so simple. I mean, it takes, can I do it for everybody? No, I can't. But when I have those moments, I know it's on purpose. When I'm, when somebody's DM pops up and I happen to have a moment and I'm on Facebook creating a post, then there's a reason why they did, and I'll just leave it up to that and like, okay, here's a coincidence. It's not really a coincidence. And I will do that. And I will do that from a place of just wanting to help. So the intentionality is there. And I've really trained myself to do that rather than, oh my gosh, this person is just like in my DM and bugging me and I just don't have time for this. Because the truth is that that's not true. They're not trying to bug me. They're trying to build their business, and good for them. They're working they're working on their business, and I really really appreciate when business owners are working on their business and they're going for it. Wow, do I appreciate it. I know. I know. I've been there. And I'm always working on my business and working on myself, so I appreciate them. And so I step into that appreciation of like, oh, human to human, go good for you. Good for you. You don't know me, and you're going for it, I so appreciate you and what you're bringing to the world. I don't even know what it is, but let me see how I can help. So that intentionality is becoming something that I've created a habit. So I'm not reacting. And that is being a human in the digital space, and responding is another way of being a human in the digital space. Doesn't matter what platform we are on, we respond the way that we would respond if they were face to face with us. So let's put it another way. Let's put it another way. And I know, face to face, you guys would respond differently. Let's just say that you've got Girl Scouts, right? Girl Scouts coming to your door. They don't know you. They don't know you. Or even the Scouts, which is the Boy Scouts, right? I think they call them the Scouts because girls can too. Because actually, my niece, my amazing niece in Northern Maine, is a Scout. She's so awesome. Isn't that amazing? Let's just say that they're coming to your door. You've never met them before, and they've summoned up the courage to say, "Do you want some cookies or do you want some popcorn?" And what does a person do? Oh my gosh, isn't that so sweet? Look at how driven they are. That's so amazing. Yes, I will go find a 20. I will dig out a 20 and I don't even need these. I definitely don't need these cookies, but I'll get them anyway. And I'll just, maybe I'll give them to my neighbors. The neighbors always have family over, so we usually do that. Um, think of it as that person is going for it and they are the Girl Scout coming door to door. That's where they're at right now in their journey. So, with that in mind, how would you respond to a Girl Scout? You would just throw 20 at them and say, get out here. You would, if you didn't have a 20 or if you weren't the right, maybe you can't have cookies and sugar, even smelling it sends you into, hives or something like that. You're like, I'm really not the person, but I tell you what, um, my neighbors, they love cookies. And by the way, they have their whole family there this weekend. So I would hit them up with 50 boxes. And so that's what you would do, right? So it's the same idea. It's the same idea. It's just that we're in the online space, and sometimes that we forget, if it's not face to face, then we can just react rather than respond. And responding from a place of empathy and respect is the way to do this in the digital world. And I think that we can all use a little more of both sides of that. We can all use the people who are responding to us and responding in a way that feels good and supportive, even if it's not what you had intended it to be, and also being the person that responds rather than reacts. So, to be a human in the digital space, that is your action steps. And guys, like, you can take this advice or not. I have found that so much good stuff happens and it isn't directly correlated to that particular incident. So if I respond in a way that feels really good to me, then I have found that I am so much calmer and I get so much work done during the day and I just feel good. Like, I can really look at myself at the end of the day and say, I had a wonderful day and I feel like I was a human being, even though I spent most of my time online. So, this may have been a little longer of an episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I always enjoy the transformation pieces, and it is, it may seem like it's common sense, but yet we are so busy. We are so busy. Even taking a moment to take a deeper breath seems impossible some days. So, my action step for you is not really an action step, it is a self help one where you guys give yourself moments of deep breathing, and maybe even moments of grounding. So, whatever that is to you, for me, it is my ear cuddles with my favorite music. And it's usually just a couple minutes, it's usually one song. So, whatever that is for you, give yourself the space. And I promise you, I will promise this, I don't make promises all the time. I promise you, if you do that and you get in the habit of doing that, you will feel like a human again, even if you're online as much as I am. So until next time, guys, make it a great one. Bye for now.